Hello everybody, how is it going? So, today I wanted to take a look at OP05 cards, pretty much everything we know now. Not all the cards are on the sim yet, there's a lot others that have been revealed and I guess just haven't been added yet. So yeah, let's just start off with the leaders. I'm sure a lot of you have seen some of these now, but let's just go over them real quick. So we got Sabo first, who's red-black, 4 life, and once per turn on your opponent's turn, if he has 1 Dawn on him, if one of your characters were to be KO'd, you can give him minus 1000 power instead, which is it's interesting. It sounds pretty good. It'll definitely be good against effects that, like, just say like Jet Pistol, that actually like pop your cards. So if it's already standing, you know, just giving it minus 1000 power, you know, don't really mind that at all. If it's like sideways and your opponent is like swinging a lot of characters into it, this might not be that great. But if they only have like 1 swing, maybe it's just their leader, it'd be pretty easy to defend that character, so that's pretty cool. Moving on, we got Bello Betty, who's red-yellow. Activate main once per turn. You may discard 1 Revolutionary Army type card from your hand. Give up to 3 of your Revolutionary Army or trigger type characters plus 3000 power for this turn. So this sounds pretty strong, honestly. Good with a wide board, you know. Maybe you have a couple little Revolutionary Army searchers or just like mid-rangey bodies that you can just discard a card and make them all pretty big. So that sounds pretty strong, not gonna lie. Leader I'm most excited for, Rosinante. Come on, that's the boy. Dual color leader. Also, sorry, Bello Betty has 4 life as well. But Rosinante, green and blue. We've had this color combo with Sanji, but definitely more dependent on the new cards that come out than anything. But yeah, 4 life. And his leader himself is a blocker, which I think is super cool. And at the end of your turn, if you have 6 or less cards, you can set him as active. So very interesting design, I think. Being able to take life and, you know, to save your characters is pretty cool. I really like that idea. Next up, we have Sakazuki, who is blue-black, same as Rebecca from OP04, also 4 life. Activate main once per turn. You may discard 1 card, draw 1 card, so you have a little bit of cycling. And when attacking, give up to 1 of your opponent's characters minus 1. So pretty strong. Again, might seem better with like new cards. Obviously having cycle is always nice, finding the cards that you want. So definitely solid. We have purple Luffy, pretty cool, 5 life, monocolor. Activate main once per turn. You may take the top card from your life cards to your hand. If the amount of Dawn in your field is 0 or 3 or more, okay, worded weirdly, you can add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck as active. So pretty much, if you're at no Dawn or 3 or more Dawn, you can ramp 1 by taking a life. Sounds pretty strong with all the new top end we got with the starter decks like Eustace Kid, obviously dropping 9 drops. Seems pretty strong. And finally, we have Enel, who is a mono yellow leader with 4 life. And on your opponent's turn, once per turn, when your life hits 0, you may add the top card of your deck to your life, then discard 1 card from your hand. So pretty much once per turn, if you're at 0 life, you can just gain a life, which is pretty strong as long as you have, you know, just 1 card in hand. It's almost like having a sovereignty always on the bottom of your life. So yeah, sounds really strong. Well, now that we went through the leaders, I'll see you guys in a second to look at the rest of the cards. Alright, so hopping into the rest of the OP05 cards we have seen so far. Not going to be in any particular order. I'll leave a link to this website if anyone wants to, you know, go over them again, check them out yourself in the description. So, yeah, but let's start it off. We get Lindbergh, who is a 4 cost 5k with the 1000 power, and they are Minx Revolutionary Army, so they're for the Bello Betty leader, I would imagine. It says, when attacking, if this character has 7000 power or more, KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with 3000 power or less, and has a trigger for you may discard a card. If your leader is multicolored, play this card. So, solid trigger, because if you're playing this in Bello Betty, you will be able to just discard and play him for free. And basically has a Robin-like effect. So, say you use your leader effect, you know, that turn, she will put him to 8000, so this will trigger his Robin-esque ability. You also just put 2 Dawn on him, you know, same thing basically. But yeah, pretty cool. Seems solid. Next up, we have Hacha, who is a 6 cost 7k, no counter. He's part of the Animal Kingdom Pirates, so that's kind of, you know, important. Dawn X1 when attacking. Return up to one character with a cost of 3 or less to the owner's hand. So, interesting. Just one Dawn pretty much gives you a Teach-esque effect of just bouncing a card. It could be good against like blockers and stuff. Doesn't sound bad. Just a big body. Could help fill out a curve or something. Seems pretty good. Next up, we got Basil, who is once again Animal Kingdom Pirates and Hawkins Pirates. He's a 4-cost 5k, 1000 power, obviously blue, and he's a blocker. And on block, if you have 3 or less cards in your hand, draw 1. That's pretty good. And then this character gains plus 1000 power for this battle. So if you're low in hand size, he's basically a 6k blocker, and he draws you a card. So that seems really solid. Can't complain about that. Alright, so we have a yellow stage called Upper Yard, Sky Island tag, so obviously for NO. It says on play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Sky Island type card and add it to your hand, then place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So kinda interesting that it's a stage card that is basically just like a Nami-esque effect on play. There might be other synergies with the other new yellow cards that involve having this stage card. That's all I could think of. I guess maybe we'll see with the other new yellow cards. I haven't really read through all of them, so maybe we'll see a little bit of interaction with the stage card. Next up, the Holy Land of Marijois. It's a black stage card. During your turn, character cards that cost 2 or more and have the Celestial Dragon type cost, or have the Celestial Dragon type cost 1 less to play from your hand. So kind of just a cost reduction to all of your Celestial Dragon cards that are 2 or more. Kind of like a Kinemon effect, but always. kind of good. Seems solid. Again, could be better once we see more of the Celestial Dragon cards. Then we have 2 new events here. We have the Kaido one, which Let Us Begin the World of Violence. Animal Kingdom Pirates, obviously. 4 Emperors could be a new tag. I don't know if I've seen anything involving the 4 Emperors tag. It says, main effect, if your leader is mixed color, draw a card, then return a cost of 5 or lower character to its owner's hand. So you could even bounce back your own stuff if you ever want to. And then obviously you can bounce their stuff, and also drawing a card while doing it seems pretty solid. And the trigger is draw 2 if your leader is mixed color. So this seems like blue-purple Kaido support. Seems pretty solid. And then we have the Luffy event. When you're at sea, you fight pirates. It's a Wano event. Interesting. It says main, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 1 Straw Hat Crew, Kid Pirates, or Heart Pirates type card and add it to your hand. Then place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is pretty much looks just like a 1-cost searcher for pretty much all of the new red-purple structure deck with Law Kid Luffy. So seems pretty good. Kind of like just like a Whitebeard Pirates for those decks. I like that. It's pretty cool. It can add one of any of them. Seems good. And then the trigger is just activate it, like a lot like the Whitebeard Pirate card. Next up, we got 2 more stages. We got the Revolutionary Army General Headquarters. Activate main, you may trash 1 card from your hand. And rest this stage, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Revolutionary Army type card and add it to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So kind of like the Magellan Field spell, where you have to chuck 1, and then you add a Revolutionary Army card. Good for cycle. I don't love this kind of effect where you have to discard first and then find the top 3, unless there's you want to get something out of your hand. But yeah, maybe cards will have an effect when they're discarded. I don't know if One Piece is going there yet, but I guess we'll see. Then a 5-cost stage that's very interesting. Don Quixote Pirates. If your leader is Don Quixote Doflamingo, all characters with a cost of 5 or less will not become active during both players' refresh phase, and at the end of your turn, if you have 10 Dawn cards in your field, KO all rested characters with a cost of 5 or less, then trash this stage. So honestly, this is a really cool card. Seems kind of floodgatey, but it affects both of you, so might not be too bad. And it's kind of just like it's kind of crazy that all 5 or less characters will just eventually blow up once you hit 10 Dawn. Pretty in theme for the birdcage. Pretty cool. We'll definitely see how that is. We won't have it for a while, but maybe we'll see it in the OCG with like tournaments there and stuff. Seems pretty cool, but again, kind of one of the few floodgatey-esque effects in this game so far. Very interesting, very interesting. Next up, we have Onami and Choppermon. Let's go. But Onami, Straw Hat Crew, 1k counter. She's a 1000 body, 1 drop. If you have 10 Dawn in your field, this character gains blocker. Okay, that's fine. 1-drop blocker with counter. Those type of cards are always pretty good. They usually have to meet a certain condition to actually be the blocker, and it's just having 10 Dawn, so that probably isn't too hard of an ask late game. And then Choppermon, Straw Hats again. He's a 2-cost, 3k power with 1000 counter. On play, if you have 8 or more Dawn, set up to one of your characters with 6000 power or less, and the Straw Hat crew type as active. So pretty much restands one of your Straw Hat characters with 6000 power or less. So kind of like a Barto, except on play he just restands them. So seems pretty good. I like that. But does cap out, the restand capabilities with the 6000 power. Very interesting. Next up we got John Giant, 8-cost, 10,000 power, 1000 counter on him. He is just a vanilla. We haven't seen, or at least I don't think we've seen many 8-cost vanillas, so kind of cool. I mean, yeah, if you a lot of top end has really strong effects though, so kind of interesting. I don't know how much play it'll see. And then we have Mr. 1, Das Bones, 1 cost, 1k, 1000 power. I love that they do that with Mr. 1. It's funny. On opponent's attack, once per turn, Dawn -1, play up to 1 Baroque Works type character card with a cost of 3 or less from your hand. Interesting. Kind of lets you cheat out a Baroque Works card. I assume this would be mostly played in purple yellow crocodile. Yeah, again, it just depends what targets we'll have to actually bring out off of Das Bones, and if unramping one is worth it. I do believe it has some synergy with the leader, so I'd have to look into that a bit more. Next up we have Monet, who's Don Quixote Pirates, 3-cost, 1000 power, 1000 counter. She is a blocker, and on block you may rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. So kind of like an Uta, but just kind of does it for free, but her stat line is obviously only 1000 power, so she's basically a chump blocker that you have to pay 3 for, but she eats 2 attacks, but then again she can also get popped by Vista, so it has its strengths and weaknesses. On paper this is a really strong card of just being able to eat 2 attacks, just for the 1 block, so seems interesting. Next we have Luffy, Straw Hat Pirates, 7-cost, 7k, 1000 power. I love the art. This is sick. This is from one of the recent, I think, cover pages for One Piece. Really cool. On play, return up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. So kind of like a Sogeking-esque effect, but only for 3 costs, which isn't super crazy, but he still has the counter and does have 1000 more power than Sogeking. Also doesn't have the cycle. Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. Having counter on your top end is always pretty cool, because this is pretty much 7-cost Dofi, but without the counter and bounces a much lower cost, so art is sick though. Art is sick. I would play it honestly just for that. It's really cool. Then we have Robin, who is obviously Straw Hats, and on play, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with the 1000 power or less. Yeah, it's okay. Only 1000 power, so it's probably only really hitting like 1-cost blockers baseline, and that's really it. But does have counter, can be useful against those little blockers. Maybe you'll see play. I don't know, could add some utility to Law or something. But I feel like it'd only be good like against Law, popping your other their blockers. But interesting. I love the art too. It's from pre-time skip times, if you guys remember that. I don't know. So next up we have Rebecca, we have Enno. Rebecca is a 4-cost, 0 power, 1000 counter. She is a blocker, and on play you can return up to 1 black character other than Rebecca with a cost of 3 to 7 from the trash to your hand, then play 1 cost 3 or less black character from your hand to the field rested. Honestly pretty cool. She pretty much, you play her, you add back something from grave, and then you play a 3 cost or less. Pretty cool. Could definitely add back resources that you want to see. And I don't know, the card that always comes to mind, 3 or less in black, or at least Rebecca, is Kuros, so could definitely be strong with that. And then we have Enno, who's a 7-cost, 7000 power. He does not have any counter. He has Rush, okay. And then once per turn, if this character were to be removed from the field, you may trash the top card of your life instead. If character Monkey D. Luffy is on the field, this effect may not be activated. That's pretty funny. That I don't know how much I like that. I like that it's, you know, pretty much on theme, on lore, you know, how Luffy's rubber, Enel's lightning. Yeah, that's cool, but I don't know how much I like that, like, specific counter, you know. Could make matchups tough. But, still a cool card. Can, again, save himself, kind of like, you know, leader Enel. I like that. Next up, we have Sabo and Borsalino. Sabo is a 6-cost, 7,000, no counter. And on play, you can KO up to 2 characters with a combined power of 4,000 or less. So, this is pretty good against Zoro, pretty good against Law, kinda Luffy. A lot of the red stuff that plays a ton of searchers, you know, this will be able to clean up a bunch. Especially Law and Zoro, those are the two that come to mind. Again, could also affect other newer decks that I'm not thinking of. You know, I'm stuck in OP03 I've been playing a little bit of OP04, but yeah, seems okay. And Borsalino is a 7-cost, 8,000 power, no counter. On play, place up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or lower to the bottom of its owner's deck. Okay, so 7-drop, 8k, bottom deck, say 4 or less. Seems good. Good tempo play. Nice set of bottom decks, kind of like a mini Mihawk. I like it. Next up, we got Kotori, who is Sky Island. He has 3 cost, 3,000 power, 1,000 counter. On play, if you have Hotori, is that? Oh, that's another card. Okay. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost equal to or less than the number of your opponent's life cards. Okay. All right. So, can be strong if they're still very healthy, you know, KOing maybe up to like a 5-cost. Interesting. He seems like some of the other characters, say Shachi and Penguin, that can maybe one of them plays him, and then because, you know, he played him, he gets this effect. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know if Hotori has been revealed yet. We'll see. Next up, we have Viola Dressrosa. She's a 2-cost, 3,000 power, 1,000 counter. On play, your opponent puts 3 cards from their trash to the bottom of their deck in any order. Okay. I mean, graveyard manipulation in One Piece doesn't seem too important yet, but maybe it will be. I think of like Lucci. This could be pretty good against Lucci, just making them put back CP9 cards. Interesting. We got the boy coming up, and Maynard. I don't know who Maynard is, but the boy over here. We have Maynard, who's a blue card, 2-cost, 2,000 power, 1,000 counter. He is a blocker. Pretty simple. And we got Beppo, yes sir, 3-cost, 5,000 power. When attacking, if you have less Dawn cards in your field than your opponent, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power until the end of this turn. So pretty much just like a free 4-drop Brook. Doesn't have any counter, but if you're lower Dawn, which if you're playing Red Purple Law, this is, you know, clearly support for Red Purple Law, you will be less Dawn than your opponent, and getting that free effect without having to commit any Dawn to your character is actually pretty important, because a lot of the time you don't have a ton of Dawn to spare, because if you're using your leader effect every turn, you're not going to have a ton. So I like this card a lot. I also love the art. Beppo looks awesome. Alright, going next. I know Bellamy over here. I do not know this guy. We got Toto, who is from Alabasta. Alright, I don't remember him. He's a 1-cost, 0 power, 2,000 counter. Okay. On play, if your leader has 0 power or less, draw 1 card. Interesting. I don't know how big Vivi is, but something tells me she's not 0 power. So there's got to be some interaction with this. I don't know. Then we have Bellamy, who is a 3-cost, 5,000 power, 1,000 counter. It looks like he's just a vanilla. I thought there was text there for a second. There's not. So yeah, just base stat line vanilla. Sounds good. Has the Don Quixote tag. Oh my, we got the boy. Hold up. Holy. 3-cost, 5,000 power, 1,000 counter, vanilla. Big dog. We love him. We got Cobra, who is a 2-cost, 1,000 power, 1,000 counter. Alabasta Kingdom, and he is a blocker. And on play, you can trash a top card of your deck. Sounds good. We have Orobi, who is, Robin, obviously. We have 4-cost, 5,000 power, 1,000 counter. On play, if you have 8 or more Dawn cards in your field, kill up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty free. Can't complain on that. Just have to be late game. We got Monkey D. Carp. This has an awesome art, by the way. Who is a 3 cost, 3000 power, 2000 counter. On play, draw 2 cards, then return 2 cards from your hand to the bottom of the deck in your desired order. So kind of like a bigger Kaya that you bottom deck the cards from your hand instead of just trashing them. So obviously it won't work with Nami, but I love this art, it's awesome. Moving on, we have Ivankov and Dofi, new Dofi, okay. So Ivankov is a 4 cost, 5000 power, 1000 counter. Activate main once per turn. If this character has 7000 power or more, play a 5000 power or lower Revolutionary Army character other than Emporio Ivankov from your hand. So again, with the whole of the Revolutionary Army characters being 7000 or more, interacting with the leader again, they get this, an effect, which this one seems pretty good. Just cheat out a 5000 power or lower character. Seems solid. Next up we got Dofi, who is a 7 cost 8k, no counter. Love this art, kinda in between like flashback Dofi, but obviously not when he was a kid. Pretty cool. On opponent's attack, once per turn, rest one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less. I don't know why. Opponents cost 6 or less lower characters. I don't know why it's worded like that. Whatever. Pretty much like a blocker, but obviously doesn't block an attack, just rests another one. Seems pretty good. I just love the art. Both of these arts are pretty cool. Oh, we got Gear 5, baby. I believe these are, both the same card, just one's the manga art also, which is really cool. And I really do love just the normal art as well. I think the alt art is also pretty cool, but I don't see it here, unfortunate. But he is a 10 cost, 12,000 power, purple card, 4 Emperors, Straw Hats. On play, Dawn -10, place all of your characters other than this character at the bottom of your deck in any order. Then after this, take another turn. Activate main once per turn, add 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck as active. So you pretty much minus all of your Dawn, and then basically take another turn. So being at 0 Dawn can be accomplished by this, and I think I was talking about the new purple Luffy leader. You can get your ramp there by taking a life, so pretty cool. He himself, Gear 5 Luffy, does ramp 1 every turn, which is also solid. It'll help you build back up to having, the normal amount of Dawn. And this card basically gets rushed because he gives you a draw because you take another turn, and obviously he won't have sickness because the turn is passed. So very interesting, a really cool effect. Might be obnoxious, I don't know. We'll see, but super cool. Very impactful effect. It costs a ton, obviously, but really cool design. We got Kaido, 10 cost 12k, 4 Emperors, Animal Kingdom Pirates. On play, if your opponent has 3 or less life cards, draw 4. That's pretty crazy. If you can drop this, when you're pretty stable, and your opponent's only at 3, that's a crazy amount of advantage you get from that. You get a 12k body and 4 cards in hand. Like, that sounds insane. Next up, we got Eustace Captain Kidd, 5 drop 6k, 1000 power, purple, in theme with the new, 3 leaders. He's a blocker, and on your turn, once per turn, when a Dawn card from your field is returned to your Dawn deck, add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as active, so kind of just prevents you from unramping, kinda. Makes your leader effect free, which seems really good. Definitely very in theme with Kidd. I like it. Next we got Law. This is, another one I'm very excited for. 3 cost 5k, Law, he's purple. When attacking, if your opponent has more Dawn cards in their field than you, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Heart Pirates type card and add it to your hand, and place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. I feel like Law definitely needs some sort of resource engine and a way to find his cards that don't let him, completely unramp all of his Dawn. You need to see the Beppos, you need to see Shachi and Penguin early, it's really nice. And also just, being able to have an engine that'll get cards back to your hand is super solid. And again, you don't get taxed by having to put a Dawn on him or anything when you're attacking. It's just if you have less than your opponent, you get to look at top 5 and add a Heart Pirates. Super solid card. I feel like one of the things the red-purple Law deck definitely needed. Next up, we got Kuma, who is a red card, 2 cost, 2000 power, 1000 counter. 7 Warlords, Revolutionary Army. On play, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with power of 2000 or less. And trigger, if your leader is mixed color, play this card. So, again, more like little attack pops, kind of like the Robin from earlier. Interesting. We have a new art for Rush Luffy. which is really cool, drawn by Oda himself. Looks awesome. This card will probably be a ton of money, but super cool, super cool. Next up, we have Bello Betty herself in card form. She's a 1-cost, 2,000 power, 1,000 counter. Looks like she is the searcher of the deck, and she is. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 1 Revolutionary Army type card other than Bello Betty, and add it to your hand, and place the rest at the bottom in any order. So, yep, sounds good. Any new deck that has a 1-cost searcher, like Nami, always helps the deck a ton. Then we have Koala, who is a 2-cost, 3,000 power, 2,000 counter. On play, if your leader has the type Revolutionary Army, give up to one of your opponent's characters power -3 for this turn. Will help with all the little removal effects that we've seen so far in the Revolutionary Army deck. Seems good. We have some leaders here. Here's the alt art for Rosinante. Looks really cool. I like that they went back to like the zoom-ins of the face. It's awesome. So next up we have Pika and Buffalo. Pika says at the end of your turn, put this character as active, and once per turn, by paying 1 you can put him as active. And once per turn with this character is KO'd, you may rest up to one of your 3-cost or higher characters other than himself. So, has vanilla stat line, 4 costs, 6,000. I'm assuming he's a green card, I'm pretty sure. I think he was in the simulator already, so yes, he is green. Seems very sticky, can kind of just rest another character to save him, and he restands himself by paying 1 at the end of the turn. Seems pretty good. Then we have Buffalo, who's a 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1,000 counter. When attacking, once per turn. If you have 2 or more rested characters, put up to one of your 1-cost rested characters to active. Interesting. So kind of lets you maybe restand your 1-cost searcher engines. Seems good. If what's it called? If the Doflamingo or Don Quixote pirates get like a Bonnie, this could be super strong. So I guess we'll have to see. Next up we have Baby 5, who is down here. It might be exactly what I was talking about. That's really funny. 1 cost, 1,000, 1,000 counter, 1/1/1. And then you pay 1, rest this character, look at the top 5, add a Don Quixote type pirates. Yep, that's really funny. So yeah, Baby 5 working with Buffalo is pretty cool. And also I'm really happy that they have a Bonnie-esque card. It's awesome. I love those searchers. And here we can check out the new Luffy leader's alt art. Again, the zoom into their face looks really cool. He's kind of beat up. I like that. We get Enel's alt art. He's such a cool looking character. I love this. It's awesome. I don't know if they have the Bello Betty alt art yet. Doesn't look like they do. But that is pretty much everything we know about OP05 so far. Yeah, I'll leave the description. In the description, I'll leave a link to the website if you guys want to come reread everything I just went over. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.